Good morning, Rabbi Boisai. Mordechai. Shkoyach told the guest. Anybody flying special for today? Seychelles. What's your first name? Steve. If Steve Seychelles, all the way from Baltimore. Shkoyach. Wow. So I just need to announce this real quickly. Tomorrow is my son's Bo Bayon. So we're doing a very small bar mitzvah, a little pizza party at my Shver's house. It's not really for, even my family's not coming in. It's just for him. But I have to be there. And therefore, shir tomorrow is probably like 5 o'clock. We should call for 5 o'clock. If you can make it, great. Not, but 7:30 is smack in the middle of bar mitzvah. I did leave my son's wedding to give shir, but that's a wedding. Bar mitzvah is something else. He would be insulted if I left. So that's that. Now, thank you very much. The other thing is that my son, Luzzy, who just set up all the equipment, is going to camp on, I think it's Sunday. So my wife decided to surprise me, and we're going to New York for Shabbos. So here we go. So we have to, I don't know exactly. Thursday we're going to do a shir again, maybe, I don't know what time, and then Friday is going to be we're going to Hunter Mountain. We're taking a place called Roses Mount Inn, I think it's called. It's a nice, very cool place. It's like for 50 people, but it's just me and my brother for Shabbos. I saw it's advertised in the Mishpach every week, and in the Ami, he says, why not? And it looks like a great place. It's brand new, it's Gishmak, so we're going to go there for Shabbos. If the Olam is out there in Hunter, Tannersville, area, they're welcome to come to the shir. Friday, Motzi Shabbos. Sunday, again, I don't even have tickets yet, so I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go along. Okay. This Rabbi Boisai, do you guys see it? Cow pots? What do you see on the thing? Do I have to do this? How about now? Now it's better. Okay. So yesterday we were learning about clay galalim. Somebody sent in that they actually have a company called Cow Pots. They take the galalim of the cows and they make different pots out of them. So have a great day from Ezra. Dear Rebelli, firstly, thank you so much for your commitment to share entire. I'm not going to read the entire thing. No substitute, no excuses. As your Talmud, since Sukkah. By the way, Mazel Tov to anybody that's here for Sukkah. How do I know Mazel Tov? Because somebody's sponsoring for himself, because he said it's his second year doing Shkoyach. Yosef and Zev, Boisai set up the whole thing here. Thank you, Shkoyach. Thanks for everything that you do behind the scenes. So he's a Talmud since Sukkah. You've really transformed my life and my kids' lives, who have also been doing the DAF with me. As someone who didn't learn regularly before MDY, I've not missed a single day of the DAF since I started just over 2 years ago. You hear this? From somebody who hasn't been learning consistently, he hasn't missed a day in 2 years. The reason for my email is a concern over DAF Samach in relation to the reading of Torah from a Chumash and Shul. You're implying that if a Bakar reads Torah from a Chumash, he's not Yartzheit the Kehila. As someone who fairly regularly gets Torah in my minyan and lays from the back of a Chumash, this was very concerning. Looking into it in more detail, I would like to share the following. The Kitzer, he found a Taz and Ramon Pano, I don't know. I went through the whole thing. He has some sort of kula here that even printed Chumashim have the same halacha as written. Fine. Look. I say this again and again, I'll say it again. I am not a Rav. I don't paskin. I can only tell you what I saw, what I read. I read in the Mishnah Berurah, and we usually go by the Mishnah Berurah, and he says it's not a good idea, not that it's not a good idea, that the person laning from not a klaf cannot be mighty other people. That's what I got out of the Mishnah Berurah. You want to ask your local rabbi, like he did, he asked his local rabbi, and his rabbi said it's good, it's a good kula. Okay, you go with the kula. I'm just trying to make people's lives hard, and tell them the different halachas that I found, and Shloime Yisroel. It doesn't work with you, it doesn't work.
Some people hold it, it's a whole nach, and it helps or something.
We spoke about that also. A whole nach doesn't add anything, it's a whole chumash, or a whole navi, not a nach. Nach, that's a mistake that people make. That l'chayr is a mistake. But even so, it's still a printed thing, and you can't be mighty from a printed sefer. I can't read from this chumash and be mighty laning. I got a timer. Let's see if that works. That helps. Probably not. Don't stop being you, as we all love your insights into halacha and love being challenged to be better. I'll be in Israel for the first 2 weeks of August, but it looks like I'm going to miss you. Still be in Chicago. I guess another visit to MDY. I'll have to wait until the next visit. Your loyal Talmud, Gedalia Waldman, Yishkar Gedalia. This kid is an amazing kid. This kid is Shaul Seton. And he's the famous story. He got punished by his father because I don't remember what happened exactly. I don't even know if he told us. But his father took away his phone, smartphone. And since he was so bored, he decided, he might as well check out this daf he was hearing about. That's this kid. So he started learning the daf, and he got so into the daf that when his father returned his phone, he told his father, keep it. And here he is. He came to say hello to me in New York, and he showed me the phone that he got instead. It's just a regular flip phone. He gave up a smartphone, and he still does the daf. The Rebbe mentioned that your favorite daf is Samachal because it's your initials. Still, the Rebbe only has his daf once every few Masechtas because not all of them have Samachal. But my initials are Shin Samach, spelling out Shas. So every daf is my favorite. It's not just the initials that make learning the daf so great. The real greatness comes from the achdus, torah lishma, and jokes. Your Talmud, Shol Seton, Givaldik. And finally, from Moti Helfgat, sad email. He says that we say in Shemona Esrei, Bisha Yisroel, Tfilotzon, Babskav Rotzo, and Yisroel Tamid. Learning daf, Nun Zayin with you, the story of the mother and her 7 sons was hard. Her ending message to her son to tell Avraham Avinu, ending off with Ema Bonim Smeicha, the basketball, reminds me of our day Tefillah, where we say Isha Yisroel. These are the korbanos, the parents lost the children, he lost a child. That is all from Hashem, and that we'll see them in the third Beis Hamikdash. For those that can use it as a reminder of the bigger korban of the Beis Hamikdash. All parents went through the suffering of losing a child. All of Klal Yisrael has him in mind 3 times a day. And to the Yiddish mother, the baskal is for all of you as well. Eim Abonim Smecha. Should be zoicha to see Mashiach this year. Yishkoyach Moti. Rabbi Isai. The Koilo is sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood. The Refuas Shalom Esesubas Beila. The Masechta Moshe Banda to thank Hashem that I'm able to thank Him for everything that I have. Paras HaChodesh, Lakewood Lebovic families, Lakewood New Jersey, because torah and achdus are the best. Segula, Paras HaChodesh, Nishmas Chai Bas Yosef, Paras Yomim, Koby Mozes, in honor. This never happened. The 2 Mesadrim of the Shir are here together in one time. Here, Yosef is also here. You don't have to leave. Simi. Koby Mozes, in honor of my 2nd DAF-aversary, Erev Rosh Chodesh Av, Succah Daf Beis. Wow. 2 years ago, the boy said 2 years ago, Succah. Yeah, that's right. In honor of Avraham Yehuda Ben Reuven. No, so we started Erev Rosh Chodesh Av and we finished like right around Sukkot. That's what it was. In honor of Avraham Yehuda Ben Reuven, happy birthday, Dad. Love the kids. Brain intact, unleash your full potential, tremendous success in all my endeavors. Parnas Hayoyim, 4th one, Lila Nishmas. This is a Stefansky that was nifter. She wasn't buried yet. She's being buried in Yisroel. Ruthy Stefansky, same name as my mother. Lila Nishmas Devorah Rus Bas Chaim Yisroel. Ruthy Stefansky. She's the wife of Yitzchak Stefansky, the famous Dagim Tuna, and is a very chashuv person. Moishe and Hainoch Schwinger, pumping since Pesochim, even back in the UK. Lila Nishmas Schloime ben Moishe Aryeh's 50th Yartzheit. Wishing Mom and Papa Arichas Yomim. The art for complete refuah for Chaim Tzvi ben Leah. Rabbi Isai, here we go. We are holding pretty much all the way on the bottom of Daf Samach Beis, Amud Beis. And let me remind you what we were talking about yesterday. So the case is where a woman says one thing and the shliach lies and he says something else. So the woman, I thought about this. You know what a great name we can name this woman? Think about it. Her name could be Gittin. Geschmack. No, it's a little corny. Okay. So anyways, Gittin says, "Have get Gittin. Should bring my get." She's saying to the shliach, "You should be my shliach lehoilacha." Shliach lehoilacha. Have means not being mekabel, but bring it. Right? There's 2 shlichim. One brings the get, and one receives the get. A shliach that can receive the get, Kabbalah, as soon as the get hits his hand, she is divorced. He's an extension of her hand. But that's not what she said. She didn't say, "I want you to be an extension of my hand." She said, "Have, bring it to me." When it gets to me, I'm divorced. Okay.
Are there any aiding of this, watching this in this process?
Yeah, we'll see. That's I think tomorrow's daf. We'll see a little bit about that. Depends who's holding the get, who's not holding the get. If you have like a migoy sort of thing, he lies, and he says that she said iskabel giti. I should be shliach kabbalah. So what does the husband say? The husband says Hainoch k'Moishe amra. Whatever she said. What's the halacha? Not megureshes. Okay. Now there could be two reasons why she's not megurish. Either because the husband, think about this, what would you say? Why is she not divorced? Either because the husband wants it to be as the wife said, and there's a confusion here. He's lying, the shliach is lying, he's like, I want it to be like the shliach said, and the shliach said Kabbalah, but it's really halacha, so therefore it doesn't work. Another reason could be that he never wanted, the shliach never wanted to be a shliach. Okay? By the shliach lying, what he's saying is, I'm not interested in being a shliach. She said I should bring it here, I'm not interested. Why should I take responsibility? All I care about is I'll take the get right now. I'll divorce her right now. More than that, to schlep it from America to Israel, that's too much for me. I have to take it. It's a lot of responsibility. I'm not interested. That's another reason. Okay. The Gemara understands the first reason now. The Gemara says, you see, Adibure didei kosamach. You see that the husband is relying on the shliach, and he's saying whatever the shliach said. The shliach said, I should be a shliach l'Kabbalah. I'm relying on you. You're a shliach, I'm making you a shliach l'Kabbalah. But the wife never made him a shliach l'Kabbalah. The wife made him a shliach l'Halacha. Therefore, it doesn't work. Omer Rav Ashi, the last words on. And what the Gemara wants to say here, you see from here the idea that there's actually machlokes in Bam Metzia, Rashi brings, whether or not the husband or the person that talks to the shliach, does he go with what the shliach says or not? Over here you could see that we go based on what the shliach says, not so much what he himself says, what the wife says. Omar Avashi, no. Bishloima I itmar ibcha. If the case was reversed, you would have a very good right. In this case, she's not megurish. Okay, so what's the case? And for some reason, Yoshi showed this to me, and he didn't put it in. I see it in the back of this. It's in the background. Basically, he's a liar. So Yoshi wanted to show that he's a liar, but he forgot to put it in. I guess it didn't come in. It's in there. It's in the sheet, but in the background, like it didn't make it into the animation. Says the Gemara, if it's this case, this is the exact same case, but in reverse. In the first case, she said halacha, the shliach lied to the Kabbalah. Over here, she said Kabbalah, the shliach said halacha. Now what? Here, look. Here, Gittin says, hiskabel Gittin, go over there, go to America, receive the get from me. As soon as you get it, I'm divorced. Shliach walks over to the husband, completely lies. He says, the woman told me I should be a shliach l'halacha, not l'Kabbalah, l'halacha. What does he say? Same thing that he said in the first case, whatever she said. Okay. So, says the Gemara, Amud Aleph, if the case was reversed, now what? And in this case, the halach would be what? Mugureshes, once the get hits the shliach's hand, she's mugurish. Why? Because she said you should be a shliach l'Kabbalah. So that's what it is. Shliach Kabbalah. The air conditioner, I don't think is on, is it? Yeah, I know. Okay, Be'ez Hashem. Eventually we'll get it. By that time I'll be already in New York and great. Alma, sorry. Why? Alma, he's relying completely on what she said, and she said you should be a shliach Kabbalah. Great, it works. This is a good raya that we go by what she says. Inami liyada, or maybe the halacha he would pass. We don't know what he would pass. This is all theoretically. Theoretically, what if he paskin that in this case, she said you should be a shliach l'Kabbalah. The shliach lied and said I'm a shliach l'halacha. The halacha would be that she gets divorced when the get goes back to her. Not like what she said, but what the shliach lied about. And that would be a raya that what? The husband always thinks about, he's doing it based on what the shliach told him to do. So that would be a great raya, says Rav Ashi, if the case was reversed. Elahacha, but over here in our case, there's zero raya. Why? The akri shliach. In our case, that what the shliach is doing is he's making a statement. He's very upset. The wife said, "Hey, you going to Yisroel? Bring me a bowling ball. You want me to bring you a small thing? Great. You want me to be a shliach and bring you a get and take care of it and hold it like a sefer torah on a flight? I'm not interested in being so. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ignore what you told me. You told me to bring a get and then do shliach le'lacha? No. I'm going to do shliach le'kabbalah. Basically what he's saying is, I'm fifing you on. I have nothing to do with you. I'm not accepting your shlichos. Akri legamri. He was oikerid. He threw it out the window. And that's why it doesn't work. So don't bring me a raya that doesn't work because the husband is thinking in terms of the shliach. No. The reason why it doesn't work is because the shliach doesn't want to be a shliach. That's why it doesn't work. It's a completely different reason. Very simple reason. I'm not interested in being a shliach. Great. In other words, just to rephrase, the Gemara is saying, if we reverse the case and it is a good get, so now you can bring a raya. Why is it a good get? Either we go the husband is basing it on the wife, or we can bring a raya that the husband is basing it on the shliach, because it is a good get. But when the get is not a good get, in our case, the get is not a good get, then we don't have a raya, because maybe all it means is that it's not a good case, that the shliach doesn't want to be a shliach, and he threw out the whole shlichos, and there's no raya to be brought here. Says the Gemara. Omer Avuna Barchia Toshma Haimer Skabel get Zili Ishti or Heiler get Zili Ishti. If a person says, in our Mishnah we learned, you should become a shliach l'Kabbalah. A man says, become a shliach l'Kabbalah, and a man doesn't have a right to say that, or he says, Heiler get Zili Ishti, or become a shliach l'Ilacha, that he does have a right. But the husband could take it back. He could retract up until it gets to the wife. Says Gemara timer the rotzo, haloi rotzo, have a get. That's only because he wanted to take it back. But if he didn't want to take it back, then it's a good get. Ask the Gemara about my habal labar shavi shliach l'Kabbalah. What's going on here? Again, what's the case? The husband says to the shliach, "Please be my shliach l'Kabbalah." Could he make a shliach l'Kabbalah? Absolutely not. Only the wife can make a shliach l'Kabbalah. It seems like that if he didn't retract, it would work. Why would it work? You know why would it work? So basically, this is a kasha on the first way that we were learning Rav Nachman. That what? Over here, you see the idea that even though the husband said shtusim, he said you should be a shliach l'Kabbalah, and you can't make a shliach l'Kabbalah. But what he's trying to say is, you know what? I know that you can't be a shliach l'Kabbalah. Just bring it to her. Be a shliach. Get it. Let's get divorced. I want to get divorced. Ask the Gemara if that's the case. If he could just throw words into what he's saying, he said you should be a shliach l'Kabbalah. But what he meant to say is be a shliach l'Ilacha. Let's get this done. So in our case also, over here also, what's going on? The shliach lied to him. The shliach said, "Your wife told me that I'm a shliach l'Ilacha." Okay, so he lied. And what did the husband say? Here, go give it to her. The way she said it. The bottom line is he wants to get divorced. Just like in this case where he said a random thing. He said, you should be a shliach l'Kabbalah. And we know l'halacha, a husband cannot make a shliach l'Kabbalah. Yet it still works. Why? Because we're saying he wants to get divorced. So in our case also, when the shliach lies to him and he says, do whatever the wife said, let's say the same thing. He wants to get divorced, so let him get divorced. Says Gemara, no zushtel. In the case where he said a silly thing, he said you should be a shliach l'Kabbalah. A person knows you can't make a shliach l'Kabbalah. So why did he say it? Because he wanted him to be a shliach l'Ilacha. Because the person knows he can't. But over here, the shliach lied to him. And he's basing off a lie. He's saying, whatever you're saying is good. Like, I trust you, shliach. That's why it doesn't work. Another we know that a katan, a young kid, cannot make a shliach, cannot appoint an agent. So if a ketana says to somebody, go ahead and go accept my get for me, ain't a get. It's not a get. Achigia get liyada. Ooh, this is a problem. She cannot appoint a shliach, but if she does appoint a shliach, it is a get when it gets to her. How does that work? Kimati git liyada mi megarsha, she's divorced. Why? She said you should be a shliach l'kabbalah. All of a sudden he flips into shliach lo'ilacha. How could that work? Ella, same svar as we said before, and we're going to say the same terrace as we said before. The reason is because she wants to get divorced. The husband wants to divorce her. So she's going to get divorced any way she can get divorced. So in our case also, once the husband tells the shliach, even though the shliach lied to him, he said, go give it to my wife. So he wants to get divorced any way he could get divorced. So there's no comparison. There's no tzushtel. Over there, a person knows that there's no shlichus to katan. Yet he gave it to the shliach because he's doing a shliach lo'ilacha. So when a person knows what he's dealing with, you could say that he changed in his mind. He said, okay, there's no shliach for a katan, but I'm making him a shliach lo'ilacha. But in this case, he doesn't know what he's dealing with. He doesn't realize this guy is a Pinocchio. He's a liar. How should he know he's a liar? The guy said, your wife told me to be a shliach l'kabbalah. So I'm giving you shliach l'kabbalah. But that's not what happened. It was really shliach lo'ilacha. So therefore, it doesn't work. Tashma, havali giti, v'shtucham reis kabali giti. So the wife says, havali giti. And then, let's see if we have it over here. Yeah. This case, right? The wife says, havali giti. The shliach lies and she said it's kabali giti. Havali giti v'shtuchamra is kabali giti. Or his kabali giti v'shtuchamra havali giti. Or the reverse case. The wife said, be a shliach kabbalah. The shliach lied and said, the wife told me to be a shliach lo'ilacha. And the husband said, just give it to her. Zechila, miskabela. So there was a Maisa once with, I think it was Reb Meir Heyman or something like that. He was trying to make a train, and somebody came to ask him a shayla, like a nudnik. What should I name my kid? What should I do this? The bris is coming up. He says, listen, the train is coming, right? He says, but just tell me what I should name my kid. So he screams to him, he says, Yankiv, Barrels, Rubavel, Chaim, Getzel, whatever, I don't know. Like 13 years later, he gets an invitation. It says, Chaim, Yankel, Rubavel, Getzel, Barrel, all 7 names. The point is, sometimes you say something, you don't mean all of those things. You meant one of them. I was giving you a few options. I just remembered. It says over here, V'u'amar, hoylech v'tein. Go give it to her. Zechila. V'skabela. He didn't say all these things. He said one of these 3 things. Zechila or V'skabela. Okay, the point is, 1. If the husband wants to take it back, he can take it back. Mishgiach get liyada, migureshes. So, again, the husband, let's start from the beginning. The wife said, you should be a shliach lo'ilacha. The shliach lies and said, I should be a shliach l'kabbalah. That's case number 1. Case number 2, we're familiar with these cases. We had both of these cases. Case number 2 is the exact reverse. The wife said, be a shliach l'kabbalah. The shliach lied and said, she's told me to be a shliach lo'ilacha. Okay. So the Gemara says, based on the Kabbalah case, that the wife said, you should be a shliach l'kabbalah. The shliach said, and he lied, the wife told me to be a shliach lo'ilacha. And what did the husband say? Do whatever the wife said. The wife said, the Kabbalah, I don't know what she said, but it's Kabbalah. Okay. That's the Gemara wants to bring it right from there. The what? Mishigia get liyod miguresh. My lav kabbalah v'elacha arilacha. So l'chayra, the two cases match up. The kabbalah case for where the wife said kabbalah, the halacha case where the wife said halacha. Says Gemara like kabbalah halacha v'elacha kabbalah. No, the reason why it doesn't work is because it's reversed. When the wife said kabbalah, he said halacha. When the wife said halacha, he said kabbalah. I kabbalah halacha. But if that's the case, it should be a get immediately. So you see from here that the guy is relying on the shliach. He's completely relying on the shliach. So back to the right. Does the husband rely on the shliach? Can we bring a right to the question that we had in Mitzi, I think it was, does the husband rely on a shliach or not? Does he when he says he should be a shliach, does he say according to what you're saying, according to what the truth is? In this case, if you notice, he never said Heilach k'mo she'amra. It's not like you should be a shliach like my wife said. That's that case. He didn't say anything. He didn't say like my wife said. He just said Heilach or hiskabel. He didn't say like my wife said. Now the husband knows that he can't make a shliach l'kabbalah. So why did he say kabbalah? In this case, why did the husband say you should be a shliach l'kabbalah? Everybody knows that a husband cannot be memana a shliach l'kabbalah. Obviously, he meant to make him a shliach l'hilacha. And therefore, if it's a shliach l'hilacha, he could take it back. That's why he could retract. Torah. Hiskabeli giti. The wife says you should be. Don't fall asleep on me. We're almost done. New sugyas. We're gonna have stories on Amud Beis. It's gonna be gewaldig. Wake up. Hiskabeli giti. We're almost there. We're actually coming to new questions, different, easier questions. Hiskabeli giti. The wife says, "I want you to be a shliach l'kabbalah. Receive the get as it hits your hand. I'm divorced." Bishtacha amra, he lies. Hiskabeli giti. Sorry, he doesn't lie. And I am a shliach l'kabbalah. V'oimer hoylach v'teila. B'schila v'skabbalah. Again, different lashonos. So I think we should have a thingy here. Let's see. Just gotta find it. Let me see if I have. Let me just go here for a second. Oh. This might be it. Skabel. No, that's just Skabel. Okay, fine. What happened there? The wife said, you should be a shliach le'elacha. The shliach didn't lie. He said, I'm supposed to be a shliach le'elacha. Says the husband, I don't care. I don't want you to be shliach le'elacha. I want you to bring the get all the way to Eretz Yisrael. You should be zocheh for her. You should accept. Why? Oh, the boys say now we're going into another little sugya that you're going to love. The sugya of Hailach Kischi, but it's only for a few minutes. Don't get too nervous. When the husband says, you take this to her, like he said it over here. So basically he's telling him, you could be zoich in it right now. If you want to acquire it for the wife, you could right now. Even though I told you, bring it to her, go all the way to Eretz Yisrael. But Hailach Kischi, you hear? The word Hailach, bring it to her, really means you should acquire it for her. Okay? Rav Nosson argues, you could take it back. Why? If he says Hailach, because Hailach lav Kischi he holds. So if I tell you, you bring it all the way to Eretz Yisrael, so until you get to Eretz Yisrael, I can retract. Why? Because take it doesn't mean acquire it. Take it means to take it. Yet, if he says hiskabela or zchila, you should be zocher right now, you should receive it for right now, then he cannot retract because he was zocher right now. Okay. Rebbe Oimer. Rebbe holds also hailech kischi. When a person says take it, he means You should acquire right now. So Rebbe is saying exactly like the Tanakama, like the first sheet. Bekulam rotz lachzor lo yachzor. You can't take it back. Why? Because haylach is chi. He already acquired it on the spot. But if he specifies and he says, but I don't want you to be mekabel it. I don't want you to accept it right now and acquire it for it right now. I want you to bring it all the way to Eretz Yisrael. In that case, because he's very specific, in that case he could retract. Says the Gemara, Rebbe had a Tanakam. Aren't they saying the same exact thing? The first sheet and the third sheet, though. So one answer is very simple. Yes, the Tanakam is Rebbe. Okay. Here's another pshat. Says the Gemara. He's telling us the chiddush. The Tanakam doesn't talk about the second thing that Rebbe said. Rebbe said, if I say specifically, I spell it out. I do not want you to acquire it today. I want you to bring it all the way to Eretz Yisrael. So then I can retract until you get to Eretz Yisrael. So that was one chiddush. What I'm trying to tell you is the name of the first Tana is Rebbe. Now remember, we had this yesterday. The word is very similar, but it's very different. Hailach with a vav means bring it to Eretz Yisrael. Hailach means this is yours right now. Does Hailach, according to Reb Nassan who says Hailach lav kischi, Hailach does not mean you should be zoicha right now. What about the word Hailach? Hailach means this is for you. So maybe this is for you means you should be zoicha right now. Says the Gemara, Reb Nassan kischi dami or lav kischi dami? Is Hailach kischi or not? Tashma. These are very funny kind of rayas. I would say funny because I don't understand them so well. It might not be funny at all. For me, they seem like hard. However, if a person says, please acquire this get, if he wants to take it back, he could. But if a wife says it, he can't. Right? Because a woman makes a shliach Kabbalah and she's divorced on the spot. This is Gemara, Amud Beis, my love, behelach, Reb Nassan. Even though it says the word hailach, maybe it's talking about hailach, and it goes according to Reb Nassan, that even according to Reb Nassan, if you say hailach is kischi, lie, behelach, nice try. No, we're talking about, he didn't change the word, it's hailach, and it goes according to Rebbe, and Rebbe holds hailach kischi. Tashma, same thing again. Lefichach, sponsored by Mordechai Sapaznik in my honor and by the Tehillim group, tehillim.com. Toshma, lefichach. We speak about this line a lot. If the husband says straight out directly, I don't want you to be a shliach Kabbalah, I want you to be a shliach Lachav. Then, of course, he can take it back. He can retract. It's because he said, I don't want you to be a shliach Kabbalah. But if he didn't say it, you can't take it back. My love, behelach, Reb Nassan. L'chayr is talking about in a case where he said helach, not hoilach, and it goes according to Reb Nassan that helach kischi. Lo, nice try. Behelach, Rebbe. It's only hoilach. Okay, Tashma. Hoilach again. I don't understand exactly what. I think the Rishonim go into it. Why the Gemara had such a having to say it's talking about helach, not hoilach. They have good reasons why. Tashma, hoilach get zel ishti. It says hoilach, right? Hoilach get zel ishti. Bring this get to my wife. If he wants to take it back, he can take it back. Why? Because she only becomes divorced once it hits her hand, because it's shliach lo hilacha. Hilach get zel ishti. But if he tells, Rabbi Isa, here we have the two words together. Now there's no confusion. One is hoilach, one is helach. You can't say that helach means hoilach over here because it says hoilach at the beginning, and then it says helach. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. If he says helach, which means different than hoilach. Hoilach means bring it. Helach means this is for you right now. You can't retract. Now what about the Reisha? The Reisha says if you say hoilach, you could take it back. Wait a minute. Hoilach is kischi. Hoilach you can't take it back. But that's according to Rebbe. According to Rebbe, hoilach is kischi. But according to Reb Nassan, hoilach is lav kischi. So we must say that the Reisha is going according to Reb Nassan. Why? Because it says that you could take it back. If you say hoilach, you can take it back. There's only one man that says the hoilach, you can take it back. And who's that? Reb Nassan. So here we have Reb Nassan who says hoilach, you can take it back. And what's the halacha by Hainoch? You can take it back. Again, the Gemara's question was, according to Reb Nosson, only according to Reb Nosson, what if he says the word Hainoch, not Hainoch? What would he hold? Here's a Mefurish Aryeh, what he holds. Because the Reish is Reb Nosson, the Seif is Reb Nosson, it says Mefurish, that Hainoch, you cannot take it back. And he says, the same Manom, it says in the Seif, but the Hainoch, he can't take it back. Shema Mina, it's a beautiful raya. Hainoch kischidami. That Hainoch, when a person says Hainoch, this is for you. He means to say you should acquire it right now for the woman. Shema Mino. Brand new sugi Rabbi Isai. Everybody wake up. Here we go. Itmar. Hiskabeli giti. I want you to accept this get for me. Vishtucha amra hiskabeli giti. Voimer Hainoch v'teila. The wife says, I want you to be shliach Kabbalah. The shliach admits that that's what she said. He's not lying. The shliach is being a good boy today. He says the truth. But the wife said I should be a shliach Kabbalah. But the husband says, Hainoch. The husband says, I don't want you to acquire right now. I want you to bring it all the way to Yisroel. We have a problem. The shliach, who's a shliach Kabbalah, is also shliach le'alacha. The kids, we have a big suffix. What happens by a suffix? If the husband happens to die before the woman gets the divorce, she gets it in her hand. So what happened? It's possible that she's divorced. Why? Because maybe he was a shliach le'Kabbalah, so she's divorced. It's possible that we listen to the husband and she's not divorced until she receives the get. But guess what? The husband died before she received the get. And therefore what? She's a widow. And if she's a widow, she falls li'ibum, if they didn't have children, to her brother-in-law. And she requires ibum. Well, we don't know, but maybe she's divorced. So what do? Suffix, you do chalitza. Chalitza is always because of a suffix. Says Gemara, remember the Rav, maybe Rav doesn't know what Hainoch means because the husband said Hainoch. And Hainoch can mean acquire right now. And if that's the case, it wouldn't be a question that she's divorced, she doesn't need chalitza. But maybe Rav has a suffix. Says Gemara, but that can't be What about when it comes to money? Rav says that if a person says, bring this money to my friend, Shani Chayiv Loi, bring it to the Malva. I owe him a lot of money. Please bring him the suitcase of money. The guy sending it, the loiva, he's responsible. If something happens to the money, he was robbed on the train, he has to pay again. Vim balachzor, and if he wants to take it back, if the borrower calls the guy up on the train and says, "Listen, shliach, please bring back the suitcase," he cannot take it back. Why? What do we say? Because hailech kischi. Once he says, bring this suitcase of money to the malva, it's too late. He acquired it for the malva. It's like you're dancing on two chasnas. He acquires it for the malva, yet the loiva is responsible 100% for that. It's very interesting. So what do you see? That Rav knows what Allah is by hailech. Hailech kischi. There's no suffix. How come over here by Gad he has a suffix? Says when it comes to monetary problems, so we're going to say that the malva was zoicha and the loiva, he has to bring a raya. But when it comes to a get, it's different. We still have a suffix, and we'll say that it requires chalitza. All right, awesome. We're going to make a chumra and say that she requires chalitza. Amarav. Ein ha'isha oisa shliach l'kabel gita miyad shliach balo. Oh, Rabbi Isai, brand new case, seriously, new case. Here's a shliach, the husband shliach, right? He looks similar to the president, but he's not. Chashol, he has a beard, pays the whole thing, tzitzis. This is the husband shliach. What is he? A shliach lo ilacha. He's walking. You see, he even walks normal. No, it's not the president. Huh? That's a different one. Now, here comes Gittin. She has a shliach also. She has a shliach Kabbalah. So basically, what the Gemara says over here is that one shliach cannot give it to another shliach. Ein ha'isha oisa shliach lekabelo gita miyad shliach baila. Gitti has to go to the shliach and take the get directly from him. She can't play games here and send somebody to the bus stop to pick up the get. Why not? Because it's disrespectful to the husband. That's one shot. The husband sends a get, you pick it up. And if he knows that you're going to disrespect him, he's not even worth your time to go to the front door and open the door. You're sending your kid to take the get? I don't want a divorce. I don't want to divorce her like that. Very interesting. He could. You could send one shliach to another shliach. My time in the Rav, what's the reasoning? Two reasons. The Baal is disrespectful to the husband. Check this out, Rabbi Yisai, we have a drawing. This is a chutzner that comes afterwards, meaning the husband puts a get in somebody else's chutzner. You see, Rabbi Israel, check this out. It's the husband puts a get inside somebody else's chutzner. Then she goes ahead and purchases the chutzner. The chutzner becomes hers, but afterwards. So this is not a good get. Why? Because it says v'nosam biyada. You have to put the get into her possession. She did not own the chutzner at the time of the get being put there. She acquired the chutzner afterwards. No good. Says the Gemara, check this out. He did beautiful. When the husband puts a get into a chutzner, it's similar to putting the get in a shliach's hand. And when she acquires it, it says it's similar to a shliach l'kabbalah. The Kitzur, the Gemara says, people are going to confuse the two cases. And if you say the shliach can take a get from another shliach, they'll say also that in the chutzner case, she could purchase the chutzner later on and get the get like that, and there's going to be confusion. And Mamela, we said, no confusion, no shliach can give to another shliach. My benayu, and what's the difference between the two cases, between the two reasons, whether it's disrespectful to the husband or it's similar to shliach, to chutzner? What if she's the one that sent the shliach first, and the husband sent it to her? So Mamela, over here, there is still a bezayit. But it's not similar to a chutzner. Now, I have a question. What if a husband says, I don't understand what the Gemara is talking about. It's not a bezoyin for me. I'm not mabuyish. I have no bezoyin. Could she send a shliach to take the get from another shliach? Look. So check this out. There's a tiny little taisus, the top taisus. It says, the Koby Mozes shliach have a motzil meimar deike benayu heichad lekapit bal. Oh, I have another case as taisus. If the husband doesn't care, he's not into the respect. So therefore, if you say the problem is that it's similar to a chutzner that she doesn't own, you still have the problem. But if the problem is that disrespectful to the husband, he's moichel. So it's not disrespectful. Weiter.
Why don't you say
Yeah, that's what he's saying. I hear. I don't know people that be mocking on these kind of things. Send the get. I don't care. I don't care for her. I want to divorce her. Let her send 25 people to take it. She has to take it. I mean, you have to be a certain. I don't know. Most people I know wouldn't care. So forget. But I don't know. Anyway, I would gather. Meiser, a voice. I wake up. It's a story time. There was a man who sent a get to his wife. When he got there, she was in the middle of kneading her dough. Here, I have good news for you. You're divorced. I have good news for you. I'm very, very busy now. You see, as you can see, I'm doing my challah. Please come back a different day. There's big things going on in the world. Divorce is that. Come back another time. Or Rav Nachman, Misal, the Rabbi Chanina, says Rav Nachman, listen to this. If you hold like Rabbi Chanina, the what? That a person could make a shliach, a woman can make a shliach Kabbalah to pick up a get from a shliach lo'elacha. So what happened over here? Rabbi Yisai, the husband sent a shliach lo'elacha. The wife said, you should be a shliach Kabbalah. Please take the get home for a day, come back tomorrow. So if you say that you could send the shliach Kabbalah to pick up a get from a shliach lo'elacha and it works, like Rabbi Chanina, then it would be a good get, this get. Not true. There's another problem. We have a concept that the shliach must go back and report to the guy that sent him. If you're an agent, Reuven sent you to do something, go back and report to him. Was it successful or not successful? Over here, you're taking that agent and you're flipping him in to be your own agent. You took a shliach le'alacha, and the woman takes the husband shliach le'alacha and makes him into a shliach le'kabbalah for herself. Now he just became responsible to her, and now he can't report back to the husband that he did a shlichus. It's like a technical problem, and that's a problem. The Gemara understands that's a big problem. So they send this question to Rabbi. It's a big problem, a technical problem, because he can't go and report to the husband, and therefore it's not a good thing. They went to ask Reb Chia Bar Abba, and he says, listen, let me think about this. Let me think about it. Says the Gemara, Hodu Shalchua, Kamed Reb Chia Bar Abba, Omar, Kolani Shalchula Vazil. So then 2 days later, they call him up. No, did you think about it? We need to know the answer. So he got upset. He says, what are you sending me? What are you so... Just like you have a problem with this question, you have a good shiloh. I also have a big problem with this thing. I don't know the answer yet. What are you being a nudnik? There's a story, a beautiful story, with the Brisker Rav and Rav Shach. The Rav Shach asked the Brisker Rav a question in learning, and the Brisker Rav didn't have an answer. He went home. 3 o'clock in the morning, he wakes up his son. He says, wash your hands, wash until Zdaim. You have to run to Rav Shach and tell him the answer. So the son says, Tata, he wanted to sleep more. He says, Tata, Rav Shach is probably sleeping. He says, Rav Shach is not sleeping. If you have a question like this, you can't go to sleep. So he said, but maybe Rav Shach found the answer and went to sleep. He said, that's impossible. Because if Rav Shach knew the answer, he'd know that I'm not sleeping, and he'd come running to me to tell me the answer. I have a big question here. I don't know the answer. Wait patiently until I have an answer. If I had the answer, I'll tell you the answer. What are you coming to me again to ask me what the answer is? And then they said, okay, here's the pshat. At the end of the day, this is a very, very serious case of erva. Cholet says, because of the suffix we don't know what to do, she has to have chalitza. Rabbi, I think we can learn from this a very, very important yesod in life. This woman taught me something. She was in the middle of kneading her dough, and a very important thing happened in her life. She should have stopped what she's doing and take the get. When an important thing happens, don't be lazy. Do something about it. Take action. She didn't take action. She told the guy, I'll come back later. And now she has a big problem. Rabbanim don't know what to do. Now you have to chalitza, this, that, the whole thing. Now you're working double. Just, if it comes, don't be lazy. Do it right then and there. Have a uvda. There was mamash a ma'aseh shahaya, says the Gemara. This exact story that she told the shliach lohelacha bi shliach lekabbalah v'atzchar Yisroel bar Shmuel bar Marta get v'chalitza. There's such a big shaila. He required a get and chalitza. As the Gemara tarti, it's impossible. If the get works, you don't need chalitza. Says the Gemara, you're right. Get mechayim v'chalitza lachar misa. If the guy is still alive, you should give a get. But if he's dead, then you do chalitza. Another great story. There's a lady with a funny name, Nafasa. Now, obviously, her father didn't go to Reb Chaim Kanievsky because she would not have that name anymore. Also, Sahadi Kosov Tafasa. You see, when you have a name like that, it leads to a lot of issues. The people, the Eidim in the get wrote the word Tafasa, which is completely, what kind of get is this? Hustle get. Has the wrong name. Instead of Nafasa, it's Tafasa. Also, basically, he said, listen, it's too late. The shliach did what he was told to do. He messed up. That's it. He can't write another get. They didn't write a get. They wrote garbage. If they finish, in other words, we'll continue just to understand the question. If they wrote a proper get and it got lost, then I could say, listen, you did what you were supposed to do. Now it's too late. You can't do a second one. But if they never did what they were supposed to do, they wrote a piece of toilet paper. They wrote tafasa instead of chafasa. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. So why can't they do it again? Let them do it. Did he tell them to just write it and put it in their pocket? Now this has almost nothing to do with, really nothing to do with the sugya, but it just reminded me of that famous story with the parrots. He had a guy working for him. He says, listen, do me a favor. I hate to say this, but your socks really smell bad. And it's my son's chasana tomorrow. So at least for the chasana, could you please change your socks? Do just a personal favor. So, okay, fine. The guy walks into the wedding, comes over to Gittin. He says, hey, it's Naira, even worse than I asked you. I told you to please change your socks. He said, I knew you weren't going to trust me. I changed my socks. Of course I changed my socks. But I put the socks in my pocket to show you. Here, you see? I changed them. Says Gemara, what? Did he say, he told you to put it in the pocket? He told you to write a good star, to write a get and give it, deliver it. Don't put it in your pocket. In other words, when I tell an aide, do something, I tell the aide, write, I'm not just saying words, write chafasa. Write chafasa and give it to her. Until you give it to her, you didn't do anything. So in Mela, you could write it again. You wrote tafasa, it's not good. Write chafasa and give it to her. You're allowed to write it and give it even 100 times. In other words, get the job done. Until the job is done, we can't say, he can't do it again. What happens if you tell the shliach, go write a get, and then it got lost? You hear the shaila? Based on, look at this, Rabbi Yisai. I just want to show you. 4 seconds left. Okay, good. I was following it a little bit during shir. It might work. I needed to remember Chemish also. Okay, so here's the question. They told the shliach, go write a get and give it, but then it got lost. So is the shliach out of the picture? He's not allowed to. Even if he wants to, he can't write another get because he did write it once, and that was it. He can only write it once. So what's the question? So look, he removed himself from it completely. Or maybe the pshat is, sorry, where am I? Write a get and give it to another shliach. So the question is, the shliach lost it. The second guy lost it. But I told you to write a get. So write a get and give it to another shliach. Do something. So is saluki saliklo, they're done. They already gave it to the shliach. The first guys are out of it. Or no, he said, give it to the second guy because he didn't want the first guys to have to work hard. But now that it didn't get done, maybe they should do it again. What if he added to it? He says that the second one should bring it to the wife. So once he added those words, yoylech, why did he have to add those words? L'chayra, maybe it adds a little bit more that he was saying the second guy should do something, not the first guy. Okay, take it. We don't know. One more lie. Reb Shimon is totally Gittin. Reb Shimon says, if the woman says, take my get, you can't take it back. Torah about it, toilet. The different lashonos. Toilet, take from me. Visoli, lift it. V'ili biyotcha. Another lashon should be in your hand. Kulon, lashon kabbalah. These are all different ways of saying the same thing. You should be makabel my get from me. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, remember, 5 o'clock. Shkoyach.